What's up, boys and ghouls? Welcome to the Cinema Asylum podcast.
That's my xenomorph.
Yes.
We're reviewing Alien Romulus. Yes, I know we're a week late. I am Matthew, one of the superhero and sci-fi experts.
I am Garrett. I'm the Indian drama expert.
And I am John Tossin. I am the action and animation expert, and it's been a while since we've done an episode.
Yep. We're all going to take a bite out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dang nabbit.
There will be spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers,
Yes.
of course, since it came out last week. I want to say this real quickly. I feel like it's been a good year for summer movies that came out this year.
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a solid summer. Like for the most part, I can't really think of many movies I disliked from the summer. Like most of the movies I was interested in pretty much met my expectations or went above them.
Even the box office is doing really good, too. Much better than last year.
Inside Out 2 actually might actually beat Lion King 2019.
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that.
Thank the Lord. Thank you.
You know how much I love
Okay.
the remake, but Inside Out 2 is easily one of the best animated films of all time.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's set between Alien and Aliens.
Yep.
It's a standalone for the most part.
And the thing I liked, one of the things I really liked about this movie was that it not only, what I love about it the most is that it goes back to the feeling that the original movie put you in. This movie is very much a love letter to the original film, in that it goes back to the tone and it goes back to the simplicity of the original, and it kind of goes away with a lot of the complicated and philosophical stuff that Alien Covenant and Prometheus went into. But it still does reference the past two Alien films that Ridley Scott did, which I appreciated because I think there's a lot of things that those two movies did really well. On the whole, there's problems with those two, but I think that was nice of them to implement that stuff in this movie.
I think the only ones they didn't mention were the AVP movies.
Yeah.
And maybe 3.
Yeah, even Resurrection didn't even really. Even Resurrection kind of like reversed everything that Alien 3 did, pretty much.
And there's a part where they kind of spun off Resurrection with this, and
A little bit.
They managed to make
but
it better.
They made it way better.
Yeah. One of the worst parts about Resurrection was actually done.
Yes, very
good.
much. But yeah, I had quite a bit of hope for this movie, because I feel like the franchise was kind of diminished after Covenant, and I just what I wanted from this movie was to just go back to basics, and I know some people really liked all that stuff from like the philosophical and the deep stuff that Covenant and Prometheus did.
I did.
I appreciated that, but I don't think for the most part it paid off for the majority. And this, I think, was the film to get people back on board. To go back to what people loved about the original film was that they loved the claustrophobia, they loved the practical effects, they loved the stakes that were the lowered stakes for the story, but it made it better for the film. And I honestly think Romulus pretty much met my expectations. I've seen this movie 3 times already.
Oh,
And
wow.
each
Nice.
time I've enjoyed it thoroughly more and more.
That's
I believe
good.
It's going to end up being the highest grossing film in the franchise.
Yeah.
It's going to beat out Prometheus.
I'm not sure. We'll see.
That would be cool.
Prometheus was very successful.
It made, I think,
So,
403 million.
This film's already. I think this film is already about to pass Covenant
Yeah.
in week 2, which kind of it's quite spectacular and not surprising in many ways. But yeah.
Yeah. Which we're gonna do later in the show. We're gonna do a Alien and Predator ranking after the review. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that's gonna be epic.
Yes.
And we got the, if you guys didn't know, there's an Alien TV show coming out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had no idea that was coming until I sat in the theater on Thursday night and I see that come up on the screen.
I forgot about that.
What the hell?
Yeah, like I believe
And
it's going to be like
apparently,
first quarter next year.
this takes place before everything.
This is why it's confusing, because like, are they gonna? It's saying it's 100 years before, but then before before the first Alien, but then
That's just crazy to me.
they're saying like the timeline post I seen, it's putting it like a few years before Prometheus, but if it's aliens on Earth, obviously with the probably nobody got around to tell in AVP either one, because they got picked up at the end of.
Well,
after
the AVP movies aren't even canon anyway, so
I thought they were trying to make them canon again.
I don't know.
I seen something about that. Because I'm assuming nobody survived to tell that the aliens were on Earth in either one of those.
We shall see. I have no idea what they're gonna do with this. I know nothing about the series they're making, Alien.
Me
Earth.
neither.
Yeah. The only thought is like if everybody didn't survive an AVP, how would they justify, like, if there's aliens loose on Earth in this show? How could they justify not knowing about the aliens in the movie?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I assume from that this is going to be a fairly small scale story.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That's the only thing I can come up with right now. Like, until I see like an actual teaser, a teaser or trailer for the series, I don't know. So I have no idea what they're gonna do or how they're gonna make that make sense.
Rumor has it the new Predator movie's coming next year too. The Predator Badlands.
Yes.
Which will
Isn't Dan Trachtenberg directing it?
Yes.
Yes.
And Dakota Fanning or Elle Fanning as the star.
Great.
Yeah, I read about that. I was just thinking I think that's a great idea.
It's going to take place in like 2040 or something.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cool.
It's gonna be like, I heard it's actually got some cyberpunk elements.
Yeah, and they don't need to tie it with these Alien movies too.
Well, apparently we're getting another Alien vs. Predator movie.
Yeah, I did hear about that this week.
With Dan and Fede doing it
I mean,
I bet it would be much better than the other ones.
Yeah, there's no way it can be worse than the other two movies. We'll see. I'd be open for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Alien Romulus, to go more into plot details and all that. It takes place, like we said, it takes place between Alien and aliens. And this takes place. The beginning starts off with the character of Kaylee Spaney named Rain, who lives on one of the Weyland-Yutani colonies. I forget what the planet is called.
I don't remember.
But it's a planet that basically it's constant darkness. They never see the sun. It's basically like if 30 Days of Night was just their entire lifetime instead of just being a month.
I need to rewatch that movie.
But yeah, this planet really fucking sucks. They basically have to work like an absurd amount of time to even get the ability to leave this colony to go somewhere else. And Rain and her batch of friends who also work on this planet, and including a character named Andy, who's played by David Johnson. They band together and they basically find a deserted spaceship right outside the planet, which has these fuel pods or something like that, cryopods that will help them and which will give them the ability to escape from the planet and be able to get to this really nice planet, much elsewhere,
like Earth. More.
Yeah, where they can actually see the sun.
Yeah.
So that it's basically, and what I like about this, this is basically, Fede Alvarez directed this. This is essentially Don't Breathe with xenomorphs involved, and I really dug that. It has a very similar setup to Don't Breathe, where these characters perform some sort of heist to achieve their goal, and then bad things happen. So they get to the ship, and of course they do not realize that they are stepping into a horror show of eggs and facehuggers and xenomorphs.
Nope.
So that's about as much as we can say without getting into spoilers. So before we get into all that stuff, I really enjoyed the film. I think it's I'll save the ranking for later on, but it's definitely one of my favorite films in the franchise. And I think there's a lot of things I was not a huge fan of the film. I think some of the things revolving around other characters is a bit much for me, and I think it got a little silly, and I think it goes a little too heavy on the fan service in certain
Yes.
parts. But overall, I think this film is a blast, and I think this was the right step. This was the right direction to go in to get more casual fans of the Alien movies back on after the franchises have seen a lot of roadblocks since 1986. So I would give this film a 8 out of 10. I'd say
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
I know one of my biggest glaring issue with it, and I think you might agree with me on this. A lot of the scenes were way too dark.
I did not have that problem.
Maybe it was the screening then.
Maybe so. I think the film looked amazing, like in terms of matching or as close to resembling the look of the original '79 movie. I think they did a tremendous job.
It must have been my screening then. Did you go to
m-
IMAX?
And Dolby, I saw it in IMAX and Dolby
Okay.
Digital.
It
Both
must have been
times
my
I saw it in
screening then.
IMAX. Oh my god, it looks amazing in IMAX. I saw this. The second time I saw this was at the my my state, or our state has a state museum with the biggest screen in the state, and it looked spectacular, and it has that expanded aspect ratio too, which makes it feel even bigger.
Isn't it like one of the top 30 biggest screens in the world?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, and it's the same. It's one of the theaters that I was able to see Oppenheimer in the 70 millimeter.
Interstellar showing there in
Mhm.
December.
Yep, I've seen that in 70 millimeter.
I'm going.
You're in for a treat. Um,
Don't
yeah.
forget to invite me. I want to watch it.
Well, don't forget it had to get delayed because that one stupid reason.
Yeah. But yeah,
I don't remember.
It came up in the news a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
really, it's unbelievable, but it happens.
yeah, I enjoyed the movie. There's a few issues, but it definitely leaned too much into fan service at some points.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I thought the cinematography and camera shots were amazing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I would venture to say it's top 10 sci-fi in terms of that, with like
Yeah.
Interstellar, The Martian, Blade Runner 2049.
And the effects in this movie,
Yeah.
when even the there's one CGI element that we'll get into that did not look good, but everything else though looked incredible. It's like spot on. The practical effects look great. You can definitely tell that they really wanted to emphasize the practical over the digital stuff, and even the digital stuff looked great.
I'll bring the one thing up during when we do spoilers, but
Yeah.
the tall.
That thing, you might have heard of it, but we'll save that for the spoilers. So
That was not CGI.
I know, and it looked. I've seen this movie 3 times with different people each time, and mainly I wanted to see this movie multiple times to see their reactions to the thing that appears at the end of this film.
It is freaking scary.
It's terrifying. I've heard a lot of divisive thoughts about it, and to some extent I do get it, but like I think the last 15 minutes of this film is the best part. I thoroughly think the last 15 minutes of this film is where it gets the most intense, and it goes for it. So,
John, do you have any thoughts before we get into spoilers?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got some stuff saved, but I'm gonna wait till we do spoilers.
Mhm.
'Cause
Okay. Just want to tell you real quickly. This movie takes place in a space station called the Renaissance. I just looked it up for
yeah,
myself.
Romulus, and what was the other side?
I
What was it called?
God damn it! There was another R.
Yeah,
Renan or something.
something
Rohan?
like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, but we'll definitely find it for ourselves. This is going on my list of the best films of the year. And you know, it's very weird to me because I gotta be honest with you. The last 3 years of horror slasher movies that I have watched, I've been having a very weird experience of liking it for some weird reason. Because, as I said many times before, as you viewers and listeners know, I hate this genre. I do not like horror at all. And there's even a few of them that's actually considered a really bad film. But, honey,
Yep.
but this one in particular, I was blown away by this film. It looked, I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. I loved the whole thing. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I was like quiet the entire time and getting some very intense moments. And the suspense and the intense moments, it was perfectly executed. I loved it. And I love the xenomorphs. Like, that's one of the greatest designs for like science fiction horror genres.
In my opinion, it's the greatest. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it looked amazing, and the directing is so good.
I will say, I expect it to be higher on my list for the year, but it's still really high. I need to watch it a few more times.
It's in my top 15.
Yeah, it's easily in the top 15. I figured it would be closer to number 1 than it actually is.
But
Yeah.
overall, we all really enjoyed the film.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, my least favorite genre, and it turns out that I actually loved the film. Who knew?
Neither of you guys are into horror, really. Like,
I'm into some of it.
I feel like you're getting more into it. But
I was
you're
really
not.
into it before, and I kind of got away from it.
Because you really liked First Omen, right?
Yeah.
And I really want to see if you can get through Long Legs. I bought it. It came out digitally this past weekend.
Yeah,
I've already watched it. I want to be in the room as you try to watch it. I want to see if we can get through it. Because there's a lot that may bother you.
I do want to have a day in October where I have like an all-night horror movie-thon.
Definitely,
Friday
definitely try it.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
I want to invite a bunch of people
Yeah.
over and do horror movies.
But yeah, but after watching Alien Romulus, I'm kind of scared to say this, but I'm hoping that I will get through this. I kind of want to watch Don't Breathe and see what I think of it.
Definitely. I highly recommend it.
I haven't watched Don't Breathe. I have not watched Don't Breathe. I don't think you will like Evil Dead.
The 2013.
I was almost going to, but they gave me a heads up like, no, you will not get.
I'm not sure.
No.
But give Don't Breathe a try. It now, like this movie, in terms of like how it ends, it does introduce something very shocking.
Okay.
Like something where you're just gonna be like hand over your mouth kind of thing. Like,
okay.
Just prepare yourself for that. But it's just a really good thriller. Like, it's just yeah. Do you know what it's about?
All I know is that the person trying not to breathe.
Well, the plot is very, like, the setup is kind of similar. They're trying to make a heist into this old blind man's house.
I do like heist movies. I do like
and
those.
And then, it goes wrong, and instead of the xenomorph in Don't Breathe, it's this really scary blind guy who's played by Stephen Lang, who is the bad guy from Avatar.
Yeah.
Right.
He's great in it. And he's it turns out he's more than just a blind man. This guy is nuts and is intimidating as hell.
Okay.
And they're just trying to get out of this house.
Yeah. And I do want to say this real quickly, and this is a different subject. I love seeing like the design of movie posters. I love the Don't Breathe and Alien Romulus posters. Those are like two of the favorite posters for me. I love
straightforward.
It is. Yeah.
I feel like for
it.
John liking horror, he liked a lot of like classic horror.
Yeah.
Like from 70s and before.
Or like the Universal monster movies.
Like 70s and before.
Yeah.
And I feel like he liked a lot of elevated horror.
I don't. You think he would like a lot of elevated horror?
More than like slashers and stuff. I feel like he likes stuff more like The First Omen and.
Okay.
Well, maybe not The First Omen, but similar stuff.
I want to see both of you guys try Long Legs. I'm just because of the subject matter.
Oh,
like,
boy.
The satanic stuff.
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could.
If you can't get into satanic horror, do not try Long Legs. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Okay.
I can't watch The Conjuring
But
anymore.
you're not too big into that, and you got through First Omen fine.
Yeah. I
so
cannot
I don't
watch
know.
The Conjuring again.
What?
I cannot watch The Conjuring again.
Okay.
Did I tell you what happened?
No.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
It had to do with a filming day with you and Paul. Like,
Oh
what
yeah, you
happened.
told me that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you after. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is my reaction when you told me. I was like,
Conjuring
whoa,
is scary.
okay.
It is.
Oh no,
is
something
scary.
happened after.
Oh, okay.
Something weird happened.
Okay. I am interested.
But in terms of my rating, surprisingly, I definitely give it a full 10. Like I said, it's starting to grow on me in terms of horror films for some reason. But I loved it. It was great.
I didn't give it a rating. After thinking about it for a week, I'd say it's probably a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
I don't
still,
think it's a perfect.
still
That's
solid.
that's still pretty darn good though.
Yeah.
I honestly don't give many films 5 out of 5s anyway. Like,
yeah.
I
do
that's
quite a
just
bit.
kinda
Except for
rare for me.
Doom Part 2. That
Yeah,
one was
yeah.
pretty phenomenal. Yeah.
stuff like that. That's gonna.
Yeah.
But
Now let's get into spoilers.
so Elephant in the Room in terms of the stuff we probably didn't like about it, the Rook thing, the bringing back Ian Holm as an android, but it's not Ash, but it's a similar model, and they do use some kind of they do use the thing that what it reminded me of was Rogue One with bringing back both Governor Tarkin and Leia both. In terms of that, I think to give it a little credit, I do think it looks better than how Rogue One did those effects. It's just distracting though.
He's
like
not alive anymore, is he?
Yeah, he died a few. I can't remember when, but he has passed away.
That's one of my things. Is
Now,
let the dead rest.
What I'll say, I did hear that the family of Ian Holm did give their blessing to go forward with it, which makes me feel better. But I still don't think. I still would have just preferred if it was a different actor doing this, because it didn't need to be Ian Holm.
That was too extreme fan service.
Yeah, that went a little too far. In fact, I think it did go way too far. But I think a better idea, and I actually did hear someone actually did bring this up in some of the discussions around the film. I think it would have actually been a little bit more clever if that was Andy. Like if it was a different version of David Johnson's character.
Yeah.
And it would have actually lent more to the theme of what that character is going through, where Andy is, an android who is kind of going through an identity crisis and helping out Rain and this group of people into going against what Wayland Yutani is doing, and then Wayland Yutani is pulling him back in. I feel like that would have been more clever if that was a different version of him bringing him back and doing that. And nothing really about that storyline would change, really.
Right.
I think that would just be a very clever way, visually as well as to kind of bring that idea home. Just making it look like Ian Holm, I don't think was a good decision at all.
I will say the relationship between Andy and Rain was amazing.
Yeah,
was so sweet.
Those two.
I agree.
The acting in the film, I think, is top notch.
Absolutely.
Caitlin Spaney is killing it.
She is going
recently.
places.
Like, she is between this
Civil
War and Priscilla. I think she's absolutely on fire right now.
Isabella Merced's blowing up too.
Yeah, she is doing it. She's doing crazy right now too. Best scream I've heard in a horror movie in years. Isabella Merced with that scream with the chest burster in that scene.
Yes.
Oh my God, fear, true scream queen right now.
Yes.
Isabella Merced. Yeah, that whole sequence with the first chest burster where they play with that X-ray machine and showing inside the chest as it's coming out. Brilliant. Just brutal. I really don't understand how people could say this film is too tame. I've heard a lot of that criticism. Like, a lot of people think this movie is too tame and it's too held back. I don't
wasn't
agree.
enough gore.
But
the original film didn't have gore.
I don't think an alien movie needs gore to be to be scary.
The alien movies were
yeah,
never super gory.
that's true.
Alien.
Covenant's
Most gory, but I don't think that helped the film. I don't think it made it a better movie overall.
No. Predator is a gore film. Alien's not.
Yeah. In terms of let's talk about the ending of this fucking thing. The offspring is what everyone's been calling it. That thing, when I saw like, first of all, like the last 15 minutes when they in it very much like in terms of the alien formula, it does follow that thing where in the original you think they get out there alive and everything's fine, and then it turns out not everything's not fine and they're still in danger. In this film, uh, they're about to go into cryo sleep, and then Isabel Merced's character is having a baby, and they've been building this up the entire movie, and then Rain pops her out of the cryo bed, and she gives birth to a freaking egg, and that's not even the worst part. When when she tries to get the egg away, it starts dripping acid all over the floor, and then the creepiest part for me, in that this is the part where I was like, my heart kind of sank when you see a freaking human like baby kind of forming from the egg when it's popping out. That's what got me.
Yeah, it was freaking
it was
terrifying.
Oh no, because I haven't seen anything like that in this franchise since Resurrection with the newborn. I fucking hated the newborn in Resurrection.
It was so much better in this.
This was how you do it. Because
Yeah, thank Jesus.
The design of the newborn was awful.
Oh yeah.
In this one, I think they really nailed it because, right out when I saw its face, I was like, it's based off the engineer's face.
Yes.
Which I think was, again, another nice way to kind of tie back to the last two Alien movies.
There was also like the Prometheus protocol.
Yeah, because it's called Prometheus 5 is what Rooks, the character of Rooks says. Then when you, the editing of the scene is, I think, what really sells it, because when Andy comes back into the scene and then he sees Isabel Merced on the ground, she's freaking out, of course. He doesn't know what's happening, and then she sees something off his shoulder. He looks back, and then the music builds up to this part, and then it cuts to this thing like in pretty heavy shadow, but you can see it enough, and then the music just cuts out. That is how you do it. Like, that is horror editing to a T. Like, in terms of the technique of it.
That's a proper jump scare. Not cheap, just terrifying.
All three times I saw this movie, everyone in the audience, I feel like, just gasps.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh no! Like, you can like feel it in the theater, or at least I did.
My heart went into my stomach.
It was like, oh god. It's like, and then it comes towards her, and then you get to see more of it, and it does look a lot like the engineer from Prometheus,
but way more terrifying.
Yeah. Oh my god. And it's practical too, which makes it even better.
Yes.
The creepiest part is when it smiles.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, dude.
Not even any stilts.
Yeah,
it's very tall.
Because
it's a 7'7" tall basketball player.
Yeah, that dude. Ooh, I saw a picture of that dude, and yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really great use of practical effects, and just really adds to the tension and suspense of the scene.
There's hardly any CGI in this.
Aside from that one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, but everything else looked great. Like the facehuggers, even when they use CGI, they looked great.
I was gonna say, even the ships, I think, were like miniatures and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great usage of that. The xenomorph, when it, probably one of my favorite scenes in the film is when it first, and this is something my friend, who I saw it with the first time, and this kind of thing we both brought up, is like, we've never really seen the stage between the chest burster and when it's fully grown.
True.
Yeah, and like,
and all the times I've watched that, I've never picked that up.
Yeah. How many times have you seen this movie?
This one I've only seen once.
Oh, okay.
But like, I've seen the originals, like the first 4.
Yeah, because we know we see like it's shedding its skin, and we see that in this film, but we never really see that, because in this film it kind of forms its own little like big pod, and then it comes out of that pod, and
I've seen the original like 75 times.
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's a
never,
lot.
Yeah, it never shows that process.
No.
Really, and I appreciated the film for doing that.
Yeah.
And even with that cattle prod thing that they use to try to kill it, doesn't end well for him. He just gets. That was one of the more like slow. I like stuff like that. We don't need excessive gore. We just need to feel it. Like
Right.
when the guy gets like acid drips all over him, and it's kind of slow, and then it just like we see his fingers rotting off. Like I like stuff like that. That stuff I feel more I feel more than like the excessive gore that like something like Covenant did, which has its place, sure, but like you don't need all that to make a really scary film.
Alien shines when it's suspense and tension.
Yeah, exactly.
Predator
Like
shines when it's gore.
when you don't the scariest parts of the original film are when you don't see the alien. Like, and the same thing with Jaws too, like where the ship is like super claustrophobic and you're not entirely sure where the alien is. And that's what
Especially
made it scary.
The first time I watched it, like the freaking air duct scene.
Yeah. And then
Oh my
that jump
goodness.
scare, like it's stuff like that is I think that's why 70s horror especially is so great and still holds up, because Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Alien, all those
Jaws.
things. Yeah, Jaws too. They didn't need to show everything. They just needed to show you the essentials, and that's what makes it. I'm
The
for me
Exorcist.
for me personally, I'm not the biggest. I know Paul's probably more into gore than
Yeah.
I am.
He is.
And to be fair, that's fine. I'm personally not. I used to get into gore and stuff like that. Like I used to get a kick out. I like the Saw movies and stuff, but like, it's personally not really my thing that much anymore. I prefer more atmosphere, more suspense,
Yeah,
and
I do
just
too.
more of the tone. And I think this film brought that in spades.
Yeah.
Um,
I prefer a good slow burn horror
yeah,
with
me
suspense.
too.
Have you seen Last Voyages of Demeter?
Oh yeah, I did. I wasn't that big on it,
Okay.
but I appreciated a lot of aspects of it. It definitely felt like Alien on a boat.
It did.
I
I had the entire theater to myself opening night.
didn't. I had a fairly packed room when I saw it.
I am excited for Nosferatu. This
Oh
year.
my god, I'm so excited for Nosferatu, man. That is what the kind of horror I'm into.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
What do you got, John? Before I get into these little things.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of things I want to say too about this movie as well. In terms of when people quote unquote criticize, or it's pretty divisive, and that is the ending. I will defend the ending because, I mean, for one
The
thing,
ending is my favorite part.
yeah, I will say, like in the hour and 40 or hour 45-minute mark, I first we thought the movie was over, like everyone saved the day. But then when the whole pregnant scene came out, oh boy,
Because when a movie brings up a subplot like that multiple times, and when she injects herself, like something's got to happen with us. Like, okay, it's building us up. What's gonna happen now? And
yeah.
It's basically building up to an explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. I loved it,
Someone
honestly.
call Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and there actually can be a few movies where I can predict what was going to happen. This is the one where I have no idea what was going to happen in this movie, like at all.
I kind of figured there
Well,
was some resurrection-esque thing.
Yeah. But I honestly didn't expect it to the full extent. Because most of the movie I felt like I knew where it was going.
Yeah.
Except for that last part and how far it goes with it.
It did feel kind of predictable in a way.
Yeah, and I feel like that's part of the thing with the fan service. Is like,
played a
it
little
does
too safe.
it does follow the formula, but I think that's what a lot of people kind of wanted from this franchise, because with the past mistakes that this franchise has made, and this franchise has made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I feel like going safe with it can lead you to something better. And I definitely think Fede Alvarez, maybe he's not going to direct it, but he is going to be involved in the next few movies.
Yeah.
And we've already gotten talks with it about
A sequel.
the AVP stuff and all that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Now the one line where I audibly kind of like really was the "get away from her, you bitch." That was my least favorite part of the
Okay,
fan
I
service.
will defend that because I love the callback. I'm sorry. I mean,
It
I
personally-
love
it
It
did
the
was
nothing.
too much
comeback.
fan
It
service.
it
Not for me, it
honestly,
wasn't.
if he just said "get away from her" and just left it at that, I would have been okay with it. But they had to draw it out with the "you bitch." It was like oh god.
It was too much fan service.
It also reminded me of X-Men 3. It was like, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. It was that kind of like fan service kind of thing. I didn't really appreciate it.
John, you've only seen him once though, right?
Yeah, I always seen all the Alien movie once.
Right,
All the
so-
Alien films
I've
once,
grown
yeah.
up with them.
Yeah, you
so,
haven't
like,
watched him as much as Garrett and I have.
yeah.
So like,
Right.
it's not really a thing for you because you haven't seen the original so many times.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, really?
It might not so it might not bother like casual fans
Right.
because I do feel like this will bring a lot of like casual people
Yes.
in, but like for like hardcore fans like me, I didn't need it at all. Like much less of it is needed for me.
Yeah, well, the reason why I love fan service is because as long as that it connects to the story and it actually and it actually makes sense.
And a lot of the time recently, I feel like it doesn't carry with the story much further. Like it just kind of stops it.
Right, but to give you a
for
great
showing
example of like
shit.
fan service movie that's like one of my favorites, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the fan service in that movie was just absolutely brilliant. And then you get Madam Web, which the fan service in that film absolutely
Hey,
sucked.
John, don't lean into the corner. You're beheading yourself on camera. Don't lean with
I
your head
can
over by the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
didn't
you're
know.
beheading yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have a wide enough angle lens for this shot. So.
Oh,
bear
okay.
with us.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't put your head all the way back like that.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, No Way Home. No Way Home worked, but then the other film, it did not work at
And
all.
also, another example of a horror movie that uses fan service, but in my opinion actually uses it well, is Doctor Sleep. Because,
I still have not seen that.
oh my God, watch it. It's spooky season now.
Rebecca Ferguson.
You got no excuse not to watch it now. It's
You
spooky
have seen The
season.
Shining, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Spirit Halloween is open, it's spooky season, bitch.
Rebecca Ferguson in a crazy role like Dune.
Oh
Part
my
2.
God, that's probably.
After seeing
Dr.
her
Sleep-
crazy in Dune, like it's like
You're
oh,
gonna love her
yes.
in Doctor Sleep. What I mean by Doctor Sleep, with the fan service, is that for the most part, Doctor Sleep is its own film. It doesn't need to remind you constantly that it's a sequel to The Shining. It builds its characters in a natural way, and it introduces you to the different aspects of the world building and The Shining and all that. And then in the third act, it brings you back to the Overlook Hotel, and it does all that stuff that you remember from The Shining, but it feels backed up by it, and it doesn't feel like it's stopping the story to do it. It feels organic. Stuff like that with the "get away from her, you bitch" stuff doesn't feel organic to me. It just feels forced. And that's my least favorite part of the movie. Well, one of my least favorite parts, at least.
Honestly, that was mine too. Besides like the
Mhm.
lighting, but obviously like I think that was
I had no problem with the lighting.
it was
Yeah.
probably my theater.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll say it again too. I mean, the directing, the cinematography, it is unbelievable. It
Yeah.
looks so realistic.
I do
Like
think
when
it
you're
is
up
top
in
10
space.
sci-fi.
Yeah, when you're up there, like it felt like you're in real space. Like it's so unbelievable how awesome the cinematography is.
Mhm.
It's ridiculously good. Like
Yeah.
it should get an Oscar nomination for cinematography for that film. With
Yeah,
with Doom Part
they're
2,
not
both
going to.
both cinematographies are
I don't know.
amazing.
The first 3 Alien got nominated for Oscars.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't looked that far back at Oscar history, so
yeah. I
well-
think the first Alien got nominated for like 5.
I know it didn't get nominated for Best Picture,
No.
but
No.
It was like best sound design, best special effects.
maybe some technicals,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
in terms of visual effects this year, I mean, Dune, we got Apes. It's
Furiosa.
gonna be a type category for that.
Oh, yeah.
stuff, but
Visual effects is going to go to a sci-fi movie this year. There's no doubt about it.
in my
Oh, yeah.
opinion, the Oscars are so biased against horror. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that's
anything
true.
horror-
Most things like
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
Even-
And animation in particular, they're also biased against them too, which is so dumb.
And I mean, I hope I want Longlegs to get nominated for a bunch of shit at the Oscars, and I know it's probably not going to, but
Right.
until it happens, I'll see. But
They still need to add the stunt category.
yep. And after the Fall Guy, they
Ryan
it's
Gosling
gonna make
kind
them.
of speaking out on it.
Yeah, exactly. So
True.
yeah, I think that's all I wanted to get into for Romulus. I think I'm
Yeah,
ready to
I mean,
move
I
on
pretty
to
much what I had
rankings.
to say in terms of positivity. Like, I love the acting. I thought the storytelling was terrific. I love the
got
visuals, the cinematography. I am definitely going to be pretty much buying all the Alien movies except Resurrection. I'm skipping that film like the plague.
I've got a 6-pack. It was like $25
That's pretty good.
What
with all the
does that-
Blu-ray.
Like from Alien to Alien Covenant.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was
That's
the-
cool.
It was a Blu-ray and digital for like $25.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, there's a few things that you guys might not have caught. You might definitely not have caught. There's Garrett. Have you played the games at all?
Alien Isolation. I played that.
So the checkpoints where you like
yeah,
save
the
game,
telephone. I did notice that on the
Yeah.
second time.
It was,
That was
every
fun.
time something bad was about to happen, it would show up.
Mhm.
And then the hallway scene, which I want to talk about that real quick. The zero gravity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That hallway.
that was one of my. I forgot to bring that scene up.
Yeah.
Shit.
Uh,
I like that scene so much.
The hallway was a recreation from the beginning of Alien Colonial Marines, the game.
I never played Colonial
Yeah.
Marines because I heard it was awful.
That was the beginning. That was like one of the first parts of the game.
Did you play it?
I've played part of it. I have not.
Oh,
I suck at video games, so I haven't got
Alien
that far.
Colonial Marines is just a terrible game.
I
Like
enjoy what I played of it.
it's like it's so the AI and the enemies is so stupid and it's just not a good game.
Isolation is freaking terrifying.
Isolation is great.
I've not played it with a mic.
It's oh my god.
That would be the most nerve-wracking thing ever.
Or played in VR. I know there are VR.
Jeez.
There are VR mods for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Holy
cannot.
crap.
I might die. Like
I might have a heart
legitimately.
attack, yeah. But yeah, that
yeah.
hallway scene. So they can't shoot the aliens because of the acid
Yeah.
in the blood. So she turns off the gravity in the ship
Yeah.
and then starts wasting all the aliens.
And then she still has to deal with like, oh shit, I'm surrounded by acid. I'm gonna
she
have
can't
to.
get down the hallway through the door. So she's got to float through the air, dodging all the acid like jellyfish in the shallows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Stuff like that. I really loved about the film. Like it does follow a lot of similar things you've seen in the other movies, but it does introduce new elements like that to keep things fresh and interesting. And because I really liked the performances, I was much more invested in the characters, or at least those two characters.
Yeah,
Because I really loved the relationship between Rain and Andy.
it was really sweet.
Andy is one of my new favorite androids.
Yes.
I loved him.
So yeah,
And also a really great dual performance in the same character as well.
Right.
Going from, the Andy that we see in the beginning and ending to
the cold.
to just the cold corporate version of him. And I think David Johnson played that so well.
Yeah, the space shots are my favorite standout of the cinematography.
The Saturn. I know it's not. I know
Well,
it's
the
not
ring
Saturn,
shots,
but
yeah.
it looks like Saturn.
Yeah.
All that stuff looked great.
Yeah,
Lots of really nice. The editing really, especially in those shots, really allows you. Those shots go on for a long time.
And
like
I'm
I
okay with
noticed,
it.
And great because they look good and it just allows you to take more in.
those are some of my favorite shots in sci-fi. Or when you get
Yeah.
slow-moving ship shots or planet
Mhm.
shots.
Yep.
That's why Interstellar is such great. Well, that's one of the reasons Interstellar is so great
Yeah.
is because of all those space visuals.
Like if you have something you really want to show the audience, take your time with it and just
Mhm.
let us see it. So yeah, all that's the scenes where the ship is crashing into the rings. I thought
Yes.
looked great.
Yeah.
With the ice going everywhere,
Yes.
and oh my god, there's some. I'm not usually a fan of jump scares that much, but there's this movie does have some really great jump scares.
It does.
The one that
I didn't jump
When
scare
she's-
once in
when
this movie.
she's climbing back to the lifeboat.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it, like in most sci-fi, when and it's a POV shot from her helmet as she's like on the rope and she's climbing back and the fucking thing jumps out.
Yes.
Oh my god. The first time I saw that, Jesus Christ. Really well jump scares like that when they actually mean something, not shit in like horror movies like Tarot where the jump scares mean fucking nothing. And
Some movies they're just so cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff
Yeah.
like that is well done.
Yeah,
And
that's like the
James
biggest
Wan-
horror.
James Wan.
That's like the biggest horror cliche is jump scares. Like I freaking hate them. I hate
That
jump
didn't
scares.
get you at the end where the offspring jumps towards the camera at the end.
Actually, it didn't. No,
I didn't jump.
It got me.
I didn't jump. My heart jumped though.
I
that
still
must be
count
what it is.
that.
I think my heart jumped. I forgot to mention too. I love the gun action when they were shooting all of these.
Well, that's what we talked about.
Yeah,
earlier, the zero
the,
gravity.
when
scene.
they're in the
yeah.
tunnel.
I mean, how do they do that? It's so good.
And what I like about how they shoot the xenomorphs in this, and part of my problem with Covenant when they, first of all, pretty much all the xenomorphs in Covenant were CG and it didn't look that great. In the Covenant showed the aliens way too much.
Yes.
Like in wide shots and all that. The aliens to me are scarier when you just
They're
see
lurking.
like closer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of close-ups on them in this, and you don't see them like in a bunch of like wide, because when you see them in wide shots all the time, it just makes them look silly
Yeah.
to me. And when you see them isolated from the characters, I think that's what makes it scarier.
They'll never look as silly as Alien 3 though.
Oh my god, I rewatched Alien 3 again last week because I haven't seen it in so long, and I fell asleep again watching it.
I rewatched everything. All
Oh.
the Predator, all the Alien.
The aliens in Alien 3 look terrible. Like I get it was 1992, but they every time they come on screen they look superimposed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like-
I'm with you there.
Except for that one shot, the one shot that everyone remembers from it, where the xenomorph is, like when it's on Ripley,
Yeah.
the shot that,
Yeah.
the only like real memorable shot from that film.
I don't mind the film. It's Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I have not seen the assembly cut or whatever
yeah.
it is. I've only
that's what
seen.
I've always watched since I got the Blu-ray.
I still count it. Like even though I haven't seen the cut, I still am gonna rank it fair. I still think it's fair to rank it.
Yeah.
So that's all I really had to say about Romulus. So
Yeah. I think score was great, and
Mhm.
I think
really good score.
yeah. I'm excited to see what they do in the future.
Yeah.
Yep,
I think
absolutely.
they're on a good track.
Yeah.
I think.
Last thing was I like how they went back to analog too.
Yeah.
Because that was honestly one of the biggest plot holes in Prometheus.
Yeah,
and Covenant,
I thought
is
that
that
too.
the
Is like,
technology was more
how does
advanced.
the technology go backwards?
Yeah.
Like everything looks like Apple designed it in Prometheus and Covenant,
Yeah.
and then you get to the
8-track.
original movies, and everything looks like it's back in the 70s.
Yeah.
That
That was
that's-
honestly one of the biggest
yeah,
glaring plot holes.
maybe that's kind of a thing, or is like maybe the corruption of, I'm reaching here. This is just pure speculation. Like Weyland Yutani is so corrupt that the technology evolves backwards instead of forwards.
Maybe.
I don't know. It still doesn't make much sense.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys ready to get to some rankings?
Oh
yeah. You mind if I go first?
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're gonna be ranking all of the Alien Predator movies, including the Alien versus Predator movies. So. And we're going to give you guys a heads up. Of course, our list is not going to be the same because if
No,
the list
absolutely
were
not.
the same, then the show would not be interesting. Just want to give you
Nope.
a bit of heads up. Which speaking,
Don't crucify us.
which speaking of interesting, I'm going to get this out of the way. I couldn't tell you which of these two movies I hate more. That I had to type.
you're
I had
starting at the bottom?
I had to. Yeah, I'm sorry at
we're
the
all
bottom.
starting
Yeah,
at the bottom, I
Okay.
think.
I couldn't tell you which two movies I hate more. That I had to type both of them for last place because I hate both of these movies. So, type for last place. First on the list is Aliens versus Predator Requiem.
Yeah.
Oh
Is the-
God,
real
I
quick,
hate
is
this
this
movie.
Is that on the bottom of your list too? It's not. Okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
I am going to kill you if you put this higher than 14. Okay, let me say this now.
This is on the bottom of my list too, so we can just discuss.
Yeah.
This movie
Okay,
is
so
this movie is unwatchable.
yeah,
garbage.
it's so unwatchable. Like, okay, I mean the characters they were forgettable in the first movie,
Just
which
pure-
we'll get to that
It's
later.
Friday the 13th like level shit. Like
Right.
no attempt to make
Right,
this
but the story in this
interesting.
movie is just absolutely terrible.
the
the first-
cinematography.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
That is way too dark.
Like it's like literally like I watched like an older trailer of it. Like it's like they did it in post. Like it doesn't like you watch an older trailer for it, like it looks better. Like it doesn't look great, but it looks better. Like you compare that to the actual movie, and it's like, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
Apparently, someone didn't know how to edit.
Yeah, apparently,
No.
or color grade.
No.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And also the killings in this movie, they're just bad taste. Like
just
in the
mean-spirited.
first 10 minutes of the movie, there's a child that gets killed, and the alien bursts out of this out of a little boy's child. No, it's not cool, dude. See, you're
And don't forget when the pred alien or whatever impregnates that pregnant woman.
oh
like,
god,
raises-
that
like,
that is
that's what I
too
mean by-
far.
That's what I mean by gore does not mean a movie is better.
No,
like, that shit
no, it's not.
is sure it's disgusting and shit, but like it doesn't make the story better. It doesn't.
No, it
add
does
anything.
not.
It's just there to gross you out.
No, and as we said,
And that's
yeah.
This franchise is not based on grossing you out. Like it.
No, it does not.
That's only like the icing. Like it still has something beyond that.
No,
Instead
and
of
as we said in the beginning, like this
grotesque
movie
shit.
it's so dark, and we mean that
Yeah.
literally. You can't see a
Unwatchable.
friggin' thing. You can't see the action. You can't see the alien predator fight. You
Nope.
can't see any of it. It's so
And
stupid.
don't forget that. Speaking of fan service, get to the chopper. It's like,
Oh God, that scene,
Fucking
that
awful.
that line was so bad. And also, they tried to set it up for a sequel for Alien vs Predator 3. Yeah, like we're gonna get that. No,
This
we
movie
won't.
Came out, this movie
2007.
came. This movie came out in Christmas time. by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh, and by the way, I almost
Oh my
forgot to
God,
mention. I did some research on the budget for this movie, and I was stunned by the budget of this
I
movie.
think the budget like shrank from the first one to this one. Like,
Yeah, so to give you guys a bit of history for you of the Alien vs. Predator movie, when the first one came out in 2004, the budget for the first one, it had a budget of $60 to $70 million.
Yep.
Now the
Reasonable
now,
for this
now-
franchise.
Yeah. Now the sequel, on the other hand, it had a budget of $30 to $40 million.
Like I don't understand that. Like
Just why? And it looks so
Thi-
bad.
like,
the visuals is awful in
I'm
that
not
movie.
sure what the financial returns for the first movie were, but like they had to be like at least okay.
it was
was
successful.
decent, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the return, like
When you're
like,
making a
sure,
sequel,
it wasn't like loved by critics or anything, but like
no.
I'm sure like it did okay at the box office.
Yeah.
I
like
think it did around the same as for like Freddy vs. Jason. Like they did.
Yeah.
similar.
it makes
Yeah.
sense.
I
but,
mean,
like,
well, I mean, when
why
you're making a
shrink the
when you're making a
budget
se-
like
when you're
that? It
making a
doesn't make sense.
sequel, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good, you're
yeah,
good.
when you're making a sequel, you expect the visual effects to be better, not worse. Why do you have to make a
And we
budget
can't
so
even see
cheap?
them.
No, you can't even see them. So screw this movie at all its holes.
This movie, yeah,
Yeah. So
I'll wait to do
also tied for last place is Alien Resurrection.
The last three you guys are doing.
This film was so horrible. Like I remembered watching it for the first time with Matthew 1.5 years ago, back in 2022, and I think we watched it in October. And we were cracking up so hard of how horrendous this film was. First of all, I don't know, like
written by
the
Joss
like the story in this film was just pathetic. And give you guys a bit of heads up at Alien 3. In Alien 3, the main character had a sacrifice death, and you thought that was the end of her. You were wrong. They turned her into a clone because they gotta bring her back because they want to make money.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
it was.
and by the way, this is one of 3 movies on this list that had a difficult production. This is one of them. Alien Resurrection had
bunch of these
had
had
a difficult production. Yeah, they had a very difficult production. They went through different directors, they went through different writers, and they finally had a script where the casting said, "Oh, I love this script." First off, why did you like this script? And secondly, oh my gosh, and this is a record for me for the shortest time that I hate this movie. The first 2 minutes, I hated this movie. Like, that was a record for me. Like, the intro was bad enough. The
Oh.
CGI
Oh
fly.
my god,
It was.
Oh,
I
that
thought.
was
I
bad.
swear. I thought it was a production company. I thought it was going to be like fly production.
It's
No,
like-
it's an actual fly.
Like immediately the tone is completely off.
Yeah, it's so bad. And also, these characters are so stupid.
It's more like a Men in Black movie than an Alien movie.
Yeah, I didn't
honestly.
think about that, and that's funny. It came out in 1997
yeah,
as well.
exactly.
Yeah, but these freaking characters and the scenes. Oh my god!
And
Like,
it has great actors too.
Which is funny because Men in Black is actually one of my favorite movies of that year.
Yeah.
well, there you
Men in
go.
Black.
And there's
first
one
one,
and there's
yeah.
one scene. I swear to you, Garrett, there was one scene that really literally jumped me out of my chair. Like, there's a scene where someone was going to a place where they want to put down security code to get in the secret place. So there was a person literally breathing like that on a security code, and then she's able to open the door. And I was thinking, are you serious? This is how you open a door?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Ripley like breathed on the lock or something.
So like a breath detector.
Yeah, exactly.
I-
Like,
I think-
that's so stupid.
I mean, I've seen so many sci-fi things with like security stuff that have done crazy things, but yeah.
Like, that scene was so dumb, and the comedy was just so dumb, and also the freaking newborn. Oh god, like, that's one of the worst alien designs I have ever seen in my life.
Only positive I could say about that movie is I do like the newborn death scene where it got sucked out the window. That looked
Yeah.
really cool.
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
It was meh. I mean, I hated the film the entire time. I was thinking it's too late anyway. But
I wasn't going with you on this because it's on a different rank than what you have it at. So
okay.
I'll save that.
Okay, but yeah, and I stand by what I said. One of the worst movies I have ever seen. Same thing with Aliens vs. Predators Requiem. Like, how many bad movies do I need to watch? It's ridiculous. Okay.
You have not even scratched the surface, buddy, with the shit I've watched.
Well, God
My
bless you,
time.
Garrett. Thank you for telling me that.
I've seen
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Almost.
All right, now we
I've
get to
seen
number.
some
all right, now we get to number 12. I want to put this movie in last place too, but there's only like a few things I liked about number 12 on the list, and that is Shane Black's The Predator. Oh boy.
Okay, so-
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll give you a couple of things I'll say that is decent. The autistic kid, I like the kid. Shane Black.
What they do with the kid, though. What they do with the kid.
I'll get to that later.
Okay.
I'll get to that later. And Shane Black, I mean, he for me, he's a very good director. I love Alien 3. I mean, not Alien 3. Iron Man 3.
Okay.
I love Iron Man
Okay.
3. I personally love Iron Man 3. That's actually my Iron Man movie that people should get a lot more love to. I love that film. And
I
Shane,
like it. I have a lot of issues with it, but
okay.
it's an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Hell
Too.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Shane Black. I mean, he's very good when he does behind the camera when he's directing and stuff.
And writing, too.
And there actually are a few action stuff that I would say that was actually decent. And I will admit this: the first 30 minutes, I didn't hate it at first. I was thinking, this isn't too bad. But then when you get to the next hour and 17 minutes, it goes downhill from there. And let me start up by saying that when you get to the next hour and 17 minutes, that's when you know that you feel like you're in movie hell, unfortunately. For starters, the comedy was
Oh my
god-awful.
God, dude.
It was awful.
Going back to what you said about mean-spirited,
Like
like
all
everything
the
you
shit
don't joke
with,
about.
like not only the autism shit, but like the Tourette's with Thomas Jane and all that. Like
Everything you don't joke about, they
it's
joke
just
about.
like I'm not one of these woke. Like I'm not.
I sort of
I'm
thought
not
you were
needing-
kidding when you said
I'm not
that.
needing everything to be like woke and like have to be PC and all that, but like come
Deadpool
on,
was good.
like yeah, like this shit is just like it's like a fucking like third grader wrote this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I expect so much better from Shane
Yeah.
Black. He's like, this guy's written not only the original Predator, but Die Hard, I think he wrote, and Lethal Weapon. Like this dude has such an amazing writing career.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, but no, this I do. So the Predator was next after Requiem for me and Resurrection. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the Predator is my second least favorite. This movie, I hate Requiem. Requiem is the worst, but like in terms of all these movies, the Predator is the one that disappoints me the most and
Yeah.
frustrates me the most
Yeah.
because this should work. Like,
Exactly.
you're bringing back Shane Black, who not only starred in the original film but co-wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
You have he's directing it too. He's already proved to be a solid director. you have a pretty solid cast of Boyd Holbrook, who I think is really good. You have a few other people. Olivia Munn, who I think is okay. Not
Yvonne Strazowski or whatever.
yeah.
She was in Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And this movie is just such a fucking mess.
It is. It's
It
a
is-
mess.
And like you said, the first 30 minutes were okay. I would say like the first 10.
Okay.
If that. Like everything after that, this movie just got worse and worse
Exactly.
and worse.
Yeah.
Nothing in this movie makes
Yeah.
any
Became
sense.
a comedy.
This movie is a freaking spoof of a Predator
Yeah,
movie.
see,
This
and
doesn't
that's
even
another thing
feel
that doesn't
like
work
an
about-
actual Predator
That's
movie.
another thing about the movie that doesn't work. You can't combine
Like,
comedy and Predator. It doesn't work.
The part where the Predator is attacking like this base or whatever in this military truck, and then it cuts this dude's arm off, and then it like the truck driver's like, "Is everything okay back there?" And it like holds the arm out with the thumbs up, like it might make like a 12-year-old laugh, but like you're making a movie for adults who grew up with these Predator movies.
Yeah.
Like,
This is like
how
some.
stupid do you think we are?
This is like some Elm Street 5 and 6 crap.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Like, this movie. I hate. God, I hate this. Fucking
Yeah,
movie.
and another thing about the comedy too that also is just that absolutely is disgusting
The
to me.
Predator dogs, freaking Predator dogs, and autism is like the key to the defeating. What the fuck?
And I take autism real seriously. Like,
yeah, me too.
Like, and seriously, I thought you were kidding when you said the adults called him retarded. I was so angry when they said that. I was so mad.
Being fully serious.
I mean, oh my fuck, it's so bad.
so
And
bad.
and back to the comedy. King and Michael Key, what the fuck are you
He's
doing
so
in this
annoying
movie?
in this.
Like, don't get me wrong. I know he's really funny, and I'm pretty sure he sounds like a cool guy to hang out with. But he was horribly miscast in this movie. And you know what's
Yep.
worse? What's worse is that the fact he gave better performances in Toy Story 4 as Ducky and
He did.
and the Hyenas and the Lion King remake the next year, that's pathetic. That is pathetic. You're a live action actor. You're supposed to be funny. But you know what shocks me more of why I hate this movie? What also shocked me? For some reason, how did the budget is $88 million and yet the
It looks
and
terrible.
then the
Like,
visual effects look terrible?
The
computer-
Alpha Predator or whatever, that looked terrible.
Yeah, the
Even
computer-
in the
computer
daytime,
Predator-
too, like, good God.
I mean, it did not look realistic at
And
all.
the final act of this movie just goes so heavy on
Yeah.
CG, like a ridiculous finale battle with
Yeah.
all this shit.
Yeah, and
it's just
one
terrible.
more quick thing, and then we'll forget this film even existed. The Robot Predator. Okay,
We'll forget it exists till I do my ranking.
the Robot Predator.
God.
Okay,
That was
I thought you were kidding.
no.
When I
I'm
was
not.
getting to the ending and I saw the costume of the Robot Predator, I was
Fucking
thinking,
Iron
what the
Man
crap
Predator?
is
What the
that?
fuck?
I mean, that was so awful. That
I-
was such a terrible
I-
design.
me and my dad sped walk out of the theater after that happened. Like you're gonna end this shit with that? Are
Exactly.
you serious?
Like, it's so dumb.
You gotta be kidding me. Yeah. So right after that, I have Resurrection. Like the Predator, this movie also is a comedy. Like, and I don't think you can persuade me away from that. Like this Resurrection, just regardless of how I feel about Joss Whedon as a person now, especially like the dude is a talented writer, and you know, he's written so many things I love.
He blamed the cast for the entire bad thing. about the
Firefly.
film.
Not blame the cast for this. Are you kidding me?
I've not seen Firefly, but I hear that's a masterpiece.
Yep, if you ask my uncle, that the fact that they canceled that show and it was as good as it was,
People are
just
still complaining about it now.
criminal. But yeah, his talent does not show in the final product of this movie, because this is, in my opinion, the Alien franchise should not be treated as a B movie franchise. Like what made the original two movies so great was that it took the extraordinary like concepts that it brings up about, you know, a crew discovering an alien that lays eggs in you and, you know, comes out of you. Like it takes that kind of like what seems like it could be a silly premise, and it just makes it
Masterful.
so grounded and terrifying. That's not what Resurrection does. This movie just treats it like any other like alien type movie you'd see from like a big budget studio, and I don't want that from the Alien franchise.
You're
I
going
just
from
don't.
an Oscar-nominated franchise
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, like you're going from a prestige level film to this. I just don't. I I I I respect the people who enjoy it as like campy fun. I just don't. It just feels like a waste of potential.
And do
a
we
waste
need
of
to
time.
remind you that they said it's the best Alien movie? Like,
well, not many people say that, but there are people who do say that. And
how the fudge can you say that with a straight face, people?
anyone who thinks that this movie is better than the first two, get away from me.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
ever
Get
talk to me.
out of here. And I forgot to mention to you about the Predator. This also was the second film that had a difficult production. Like there were rewrites,
Yep.
there were reshoots, and even Shane Black was not satisfied with the final product. So can't blame him for that. Okay, now we're getting to number 11, and I personally think it's a pretty good movie, although it's got forgettable characters. Alien versus Predator. It was not that bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's not that bad.
No.
Compared to Requiem, it's The Godfather. but-
Exactly. I thought the movie was pretty good. I mean, shocker, is actually one of Paul W. Anderson's better directed films, which is not really saying much because he's not a very good director.
He's pretty much a hack, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I like Event Horizon.
I like Event Horizon too. I
I thought it was pretty good
I
too.
enjoy the first Mortal Kombat for a goofy, fun movie.
I've not seen it. I do like the 2021 though.
It's I think it's decent.
Yeah. But I thought the movie, like I said, I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, it was one of his better directed films. I thought the background looked really nice. I will admit the Alien versus Predator fight. I have to admit that was pretty fun. I really enjoyed that one.
The Alien Queen stuff, I think, works pretty well
Yeah.
too.
If you were coming to see this movie to see character development, no, you're not getting character development in that film. If you're just coming for some dumb Alien Predator fun, this is the movie.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty good.
At least you can watch it compared to the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now coming in at number 10 is one of the more divisive that either people liked or hated, and that is Alien 3, the assembly cut. Now, I am not watching the theatrical cut because I thought it was like homework, so I didn't even bother to watch the theatrical cut. This is the cut that Matthew and I watched. Now, you've seen it before. This was my first time watching the movie, and we had fun reviewing that film because we read some crazy behind the scenes about this movie.
Yep.
Because this is the third film that also had a very difficult production. They went through multiple rewrites, multiple directors, multiple people that wanted to make this movie, and there were some great ideas for a movie that sadly did not exist. There was going to be aliens on Earth, which Signs managed to do that in 2002 when M. Night Shyamalan directed, which I love Signs. I thought it was fantastic. Missed opportunity, 20th Century Fox, missed opportunity.
Well, they're bringing the idea with the Alien Earth TV show now.
Yep, that's true, and which I'm looking forward to that. So what we actually got is the movie that David Fincher wants to forget even existed, which is totally understandable because if you try to interview him about Alien 3, you can see a pain in his voice.
Yeah.
That it was a very painful
It was
experience.
his directorial debut too.
It was,
He
yeah.
had directed a bunch of like
Music videos and stuff.
music videos, commercials.
But like
and
it was the first movie, yeah.
he showed his, and even if you watch those, you can still feel like this dude had skill in him all
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that his first like theatrical film was just such a mess.
Yeah, but the assembly cut. I personally think it's a great movie. I personally think it's very underrated, although it does have some flaws. The xenomorph CGI
Oh, it's bad.
could have used a little more work on that one, and at least the beginning is much better. Like I heard in the theatrical version that it made people mad. Like the little girl
God.
dies in her sleep, the dog dies, which I'm thinking, nope, nope, we're not accepting that. So they did a much better job with the beginning, which thank goodness for that.
Yeah,
How does it open? Because in the theatrical cut,
Yeah, I'm just
it
curious,
opens-
Matthew. How did it open again? With Alien 3, the assembly cut?
I'll mention it during when I go.
Okay,
Oh, okay, yeah.
but
But
Yeah.
but I personally really like Alien 3.
real quick,
Sure.
we were very close on these rankings.
Wow, how
They
about
were
that?
swapped again?
Yeah.
I have Alien 3 below AVP. Alien 3 to me, there's good ideas here. It's just they're not executed well.
Okay.
This movie is just so dull and boring to me.
Okay.
I just cannot get into the environment that it creates. I don't like how it handles Ripley. I don't like pretty much any of the characters except for Charles Dance. And he gets killed off. And because everyone else in this movie is either a psychopath or a rapist. Am I supposed to I'm supposed to care for these people? Like,
I like one of the characters, and I'll mention that.
and I can't get into that. And it's just I think the environments and the set design is very dull, and I just don't like how it looks.
Okay.
It feels very monochromatic.
Yeah, and usually David Fincher uses that to his advantage, but for something like this, I just don't
Maybe
think it works.
Maybe he hasn't mastered it yet.
It just doesn't work for Alien, in my opinion. Because even in the first two movies, there's still a lot of colors that pop with the blues and the oranges from like the lights and stuff. For this, it just kind of, this movie puts me to sleep every time I watch it. I just cannot get into it. It's just, now I am at a disadvantage because I've only seen the theatrical cut and I've not seen the assembly cut, so I cannot get the full experience that some other people do.
Yeah.
But
I do recommend the
still-
assembly cut.
Yes.
I just still, the way this movie opens up is just, I hate it. I just hate it.
Yeah.
So it's, Alien 3 is not a horrible movie in my opinion.
Right.
I just still don't think it's a good movie, and I think it's, especially coming off of the excellence of the last film, it's just huge step down.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you also what was actually interesting, and
Real quick,
Sure.
had to talk about AVP too. Like you said, I pretty much agree with everything you said. It's just a dumb, fun movie if you just want that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't offer anything else besides that.
No.
I like the main character. I forget her name. She's in the first Blade movie, isn't she? The protagonist.
Yes.
I thought that's where she came from.
Okay.
'Cause I
Nice.
like her. I like her a lot. I think she's really cool in this
Colin
film.
Salmon's in it too.
Yeah, and the whole thing though with the actor, Lance Henriksen.
Yeah.
That whole thing doesn't really make sense, even though I guess those two movies aren't supposed to be canon, but it's still kind of weird.
I was going to say it can't be canon because he was dying of cancer.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
died in AVP.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he was still alive in Prometheus.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wait a minute. He was in 2 different Alien movies?
Yeah, he's the guy. He's like the leader of the expedition in AVP.
And he was
That's so weird.
He was the
He's
guy that was dying
he's
in
coughing
Prometheus.
throughout the
Yeah.
movie. He plays Bishop too in Alien.
Oh, okay.
I
did not catch
yeah,
that.
I'm just not a fan of how Paul W.S. Anderson directs. I just think he's not very good. But
very flashy.
yeah. But like I said, at least this movie you can actually look at and you can at least tell what's happening.
Yeah,
for the most part.
exactly.
It's just not a very good movie, you know.
No.
Compared to the heights that some of the others do.
No.
It's like Batman and Robin. It's dumb fun.
I consider Alien Resurrection the Batman and Robin of this franchise.
yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
But I can watch the first AVP and not hate myself.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
moving on.
But the one thing, interesting thing about Alien 3, which I found interesting but also kind of funny, was the whole bald head situation. That actually was not her actual bald head. It cost her at least 5 digits to put a bald cap on, or at least less than 5 digits to do a bald cap.
Was it worth it?
If she got a haircut, it would have been, I think, $30,000 for a haircut to cut her head. Which, That's crazy to me. Like a haircut, I get free haircuts from my mom, or if I want to get a haircut,
her haircut is the only thing I really remember from Alien 3 anyway. So
yeah. Okay. Now, from 9 through 1, I consider movies that I recommend. So I personally like all of these movies. I went from like to love it to the best of all time. So number 9, for me, the most underrated film that's actually on this list is getting a cult following, and I actually loved it the first time I watched it, and that is Predator 2.
Same spot.
Oh, nice. Now, I personally love the idea of Predator 2.
I like the idea.
Yeah, taking the place in the streets of, I believe, Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken.
Concrete jungle.
Yeah,
And actually, there's tangent. I played a Predator video game on PS2, Concrete Jungle.
Oh, nice.
It's not a very good game when looking back.
There's one on PS4 now too. That was I forget what it's called, but they released one for PS4 in I think 2018.
Oh my god, I did hear about that. I heard that was bad.
Oh, it was?
I watched a few reviews of it. It didn't look good.
Dang.
But that's what you should come to expect from licensed video games like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Predator 2, I really enjoyed it. I personally thought the cast was a lot of fun. Danny Glover and Gary Busey, I like the chemistry between those two. I love the action in this movie. I really enjoyed the finale of the movie. Some visual effects don't quite age well with some of the Predator visual effects, but it was early 90s, so they were trying to make the visual effects look good.
I don't know why. The one line always makes me crack up. Effing voodoo magic man. I don't know why that cracks me up, but it does.
Yeah, I love Danny Glover in this. Bill Paxton shows up.
Yeah.
In
Oh yeah, he
Awesome.
was fun too.
The only actor to get killed by a Terminator, Alien, and Predator.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I think the movie's okay. I
okay.
don't love it. But I definitely think it does get more of a bad rap than it's necessary.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think it works just enough, but it definitely doesn't reach the level of the first film.
Okay, but and I agree with that. But I personally think that the sequel it got a little too much hate. I really enjoyed Predator 2. I personally loved it. Coming in at number 8 is the film that I don't agree that deserves all the hate, and that is Predators 2010.
Oh my God, the same spot again.
High five, Garrett. Let's go.
We might actually be very similar in these.
Right.
Um,
Well, we'll
Not
see.
Similar. Not
Okay.
as similar.
Well, we'll
so you're
see.
gonna save yours. For,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Because there are some of mine that are going to be controversial.
So
Of course they are.
I think Predators works enough for me. I really, again, with Predator 2, I like that these movies do break up the idea for each film. I like Predator starts off in the jungle, Predator 2 goes to the city, and Predators goes to the Predator world, where it's kind of like the Twilight Zone, where these characters wake up on this planet, and they are just trying to figure out a way to survive.
Yeah.
And I like that idea. I again, execution-wise, I just don't think it's up to snuff. I think a lot of the character writing isn't great. A lot of the characters I like in the film get killed off. And I don't think the ending was that satisfying for me. But there's a lot of cool stuff in it. I like that scene where it was like the ninja dude. He was
Lawrence Fishburne?
what was it? Lawrence Fishburne that fights the Predator with a sword, or was
that was the Yakuza guy.
Yakuza? Yeah. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, I like that
that
scene
was
too.
cool.
That was fun. That was really
Um,
fun. And I love Lawrence Fishburne in this movie, even though he wasn't a lot in this
he's
movie. But he was
yeah.
great. I love Lawrence
Crazy
Fishburne.
dude.
Yeah.
Again, for me, it does it does kind of get pretty dull for me
Okay.
at a lot of moments, especially with a lot of the exposition scenes. But again, like, it's a perfectly serviceable film, and I don't mind watching it from time to time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching it either. I personally think the whole film, I personally loved it. I had so much fun watching this movie. The only mixed result I have, and I don't hate it, but I can understand why people wouldn't like it, and that is Adrian Brody.
He doesn't. He's kind of and I like Adrian Brody.
Yeah, there are a few times where I like the seriousness, but there are a few times I was thinking, I don't know if you belong in this franchise.
Not
It's
really.
very weird. It's a very weird casting
He played a
choice.
very one-dimensional character.
Yeah, and I think Adrian Brody is a very talented actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watch The Pianist if you haven't.
Oh,
I definitely need to watch that. Yeah.
I misheard you.
God damn it! Always the word penis is cursed, I swear.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, I think Adrian Brody's character is kind of like one of the main weak points of the film for me.
Calm down, Matthew. Calm
But
down.
yeah, not a bad film.
Yeah.
Middle of the road for me.
Yeah. Boy, I'm very surprised that we're almost very
Yeah.
similar to this list. I bet we're gonna keep this up, Garrett, with you and I, with
Man,
7 and 6.
If,
if
if only Dylan was here. God, I fear for what it would have been on his list.
Oh, I'm
tonight.
already predicting his list is going to be terrible. All right, number 7. Number 7. I think you and I might agree with 7 and 6 in this one, but we'll see. Number 7 on the list is Prometheus.
Okay, I feel like I know what the next one's gonna be, but keep going.
Okay. Prometheus. This is a movie that either people also loved or also hated. I kind of don't understand the hate for this film. I watched it with my buddy with my buddy Matthew, and I had a great time in watching the film. I really enjoyed it. Visually, it looked very stunning.
Oh my god, the visuals are incredible.
I personally love these characters. Michael Fassbender. Oh my gosh, I love the guy. I love Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw his performance in X-Men First Class, I love this guy. He's an amazing actor. I want to see more of him in theaters. But he was terrific in this movie. I enjoyed the rest of the other characters. Loved the xenomorph design still. There were a few killing scenes I found a little distracting, at least for me. But I was thinking,
a lot of dumb, stupid characters in this. That's the thing that kind of drags it down for me. The characters are just really dumb.
Yeah.
Or make really dumb decisions that break immersion.
I personally like these characters. I actually really like them. I personally found them to be very, very fun. So I love Prometheus at number 7. Surprisingly, I like Alien Covenant more at number 6 on the list.
Again, they're just swapped. I prefer Prometheus over Alien Covenant.
That's what some people said, but the reason why I have Covenant over it because of the action. There are some great action scenes in this movie. So since I'm an action movie guy, I like the whole action scene. And also that scene where they're on the top of the spaceship and these people were fighting up against these xenomorphs. I like that scene. I thought it was really cool.
Personally, I feel like Covenant, my problem with it is that it's a film that really does have a identity crisis, because it starts off like Prometheus, very philosophical, dealing with a lot of heavy science fiction themes, and then it kind of becomes another Alien movie, like, pretty quickly. And it just, the two of them don't really gel together for me at all.
No.
And I think the movie makes a lot of weird decisions with the characters of Prometheus. I like David is the best thing about these two movies. Easily.
Absolutely.
Michael Fassbender, what he does with
I like the flute scene.
That's a weird scene for me, man. The flute scene.
Oh, jeez, no.
I was laughing. I thought it was really funny.
I feel like that's part of the design. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just weird to me.
I don't know. I found it funny. I was enjoying what I was watching.
I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's a film that meanders too much before it just goes batshit insane.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Again, the David stuff is what carries both of these movies for me. I like that character's story. I wish we would have gotten to see how it concluded. Unfortunately, we didn't get that.
I doubt we will.
Yeah. We probably
yeah,
never
disappointing.
will.
Yeah.
But I do I prefer the cast of Prometheus a lot more.
Yes.
Again, both these movies have a lot of dumb character decisions. A lot of these are scientists.
Okay.
Now in the original film, these weren't scientists. They were, well, a few of them were, but most of them were just they were basically miners or truckers in space.
Space truckers,
so they weren't the most intellectual. These characters are supposed to be super intelligent, and it just doesn't make sense why they would just go right up to a new organism and just, hey, little guy, hey, and just, of course you get fucking killed.
Were they on safari?
Yeah,
Science rule number 1: don't touch the goo.
Yeah, don't touch that shit. And also, what was I about to say? The part in Prometheus where it's obvious, David, that part where he puts the thing in Logan Marshall Green's drink, and that's how he gets the how do you not see that?
Right.
Just a finger put in your drink as it's being handed to you. I don't know. Just kind of rubs me the wrong way. But I like Prometheus more because it's a more consistent film. I do think it works better as an as like in its own science fiction film more than an alien film. And it really only becomes an alien film like in the last scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like that scene was put in just because like studio was like, "Oh, we got to put this in here or they're not going to get it," or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do like a lot of Prometheus. I do like the concepts, and that C-section scene in Prometheus, that's one of the most gnarly scenes for me.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't bring that up, I was gonna bring it up when I brought my list up.
Okay.
That is honestly the scene that scares me the most, like
That
in
is-
the whole franchise.
I saw that in the theater, and
Yeah, I
I
did
was just
too.
like, oh, I was so uncomfortable.
It still makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That is easily the most disturbing scene in the entire franchise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And really, the cinematography is so gorgeous.
It
The
is.
visual effects.
Yeah.
That scene with David in that room with all the map scene where
Yeah.
he's looking, just the music too. It's
Yeah.
like a perfect blend of music, visuals, and acting.
Yeah.
It's just a really good scene.
They really stepped up the cinematography and stuff for the last 3 movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think Prometheus, in my opinion, is probably the best looking film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
in my-
Romulus is second, and then Covenant's third.
Yeah. But yeah, Alien Covenant I think is a mess, but I don't mind watching it. But
yeah.
I do think Prometheus holds up more. It's just its own film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It didn't help either that Covenant didn't do well at the box office, and it was the year of summer
Yeah.
films. Like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
It was
2
in
came out
between
that year,
Wonder
too.
Woman.
Wonder Woman,
and
yeah.
Guardians
So
and
they
all
were
that.
kind of due from the start, and they knew that it was time for a refresh, and that's where Alien Robbie got a good refresh.
Yeah.
So there you
Came
go.
out in March.
What did?
Logan came out in March
Yeah.
that year.
Well, that was already gone by,
Okay, yeah.
by
I
May.
didn't know when
so.
Covenant came out.
Oh, gotcha.
It came out in May, I remember, because
Okay.
I worked at the theater.
So yeah,
when it
Guardians
came
was
out.
out.
Yeah. So there you go.
I think there was a Fast and Furious that in May too.
And also, I just feel like all that philosophical stuff in Prometheus and Covenant, it didn't gel well with most casual audiences because
Right.
when you're like wanting the film to do really well, you can't just look at like the hardcore fans. You also have to think of
Right.
can a casual goer go into this and get something out of this? And I feel like most people didn't with
Right.
Covenant.
If it was going to be a philosophical film, it really needed to just be a philosophical film.
Yeah, and that's where I think Prometheus shined more.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Because I really enjoy philosophical sci-fi.
yeah.
Okay. Whew, oh boy. Now we're gonna get through 5 through 2, and I'm gonna give you guys to give you a heads up. For 5 through 2, I think this is where the similarities probably gonna end on this one because
Okay.
I don't
Well-
think you guys are gonna like my ranking of 5 through 2.
I
Honestly.
feel like we're gonna have the same top two. I feel.
well, we'll see.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, I've been wrong before.
Yeah, we'll see. And just to let you know, I love all 5 of these movies. These are based on
Yeah, I really enjoyed my top 5 too.
And so, well, this is where you probably are not going to like what's at number 5.
Okay,
So,
let's see.
so number 5 on the list, like I said, I love this movie, Predator, at number 5.
Okay.
Now I know a lot of you guys are very surprised that Predator is not my number 1 favorite Predator film. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie. It's a classic. Arnold Schwarzenegger is great. The action is fantastic. The Predator designs.
So many iconic lines.
Yep, so many iconic lines.
We can kill it. Stick it around.
Yeah, and also that
Knock,
great
knock.
that great scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger
Oh,
and that
kill
one
him.
scene.
You son of a bitch. What's the matter, Dylan? Pushing too many pencils.
I was hoping we would do that scene. That's
I
a
want to
great
get
scene.
Love that scene.
like a little short video if we start a TikTok of Dylan and Paul doing that.
Yes. Yes.
Or him and
Well,
I doing
no,
it.
Dylan
He has to
has to
wear
do
a
it.
Oh,
mask,
okay.
Yeah.
of course, but yeah.
Or just show his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Dylan in that
Yes.
scene.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. What if he's wearing? What if he's?
His Mandalorian
No,
helmet.
no. What if? I don't know if this would be racist, but like, what if we printed out Carl Weathers' face and taped it to him? Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be interesting. But the cast is iconic. The movie is a lot of fun. The casting is fantastic. The action is great. Shane Black, I mean, his popularity actually began because of that,
And
which is
also,
interesting.
not enough people talk about the music in the film. And Alvin Silvestri did the music for this.
Yeah.
Who did the Avengers movies?
Avengers, Forrest Gump, Back to the Future.
Ah,
The music is great in
Yes.
Predator.
those movies I loved. Yeah,
Mhm.
and also that great iconic scene where he says, "Girl, get to the chopper!"
That's one of the best musical cues in the film. Where
Absolutely.
he's crawling
Dun,
around and
dun,
it's
dun,
just
dun,
a great,
dun,
it's
dun.
just a great scene.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Also, shameless metal plug. Austrian Death Machine song "Get to the Chopper."
Yep.
Ah, but yeah, I absolutely love Predator. I mean, honestly, people. I mean, these top
I can understand why the Predator film that you have not mentioned is higher, though. I can.
Oh,
Totally get
okay,
why.
yeah. I mean, these top five is very tough. I mean, all
Yeah.
5 movies are absolutely great. Which speaking of next movie on the list, and that leads to number 4. It's gonna be one of the Alien movies, but it's not what you think at number 4. I have the original Alien at number 4 on the list. Yeah, I actually love Romulus a lot more, which I'll get to that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this: when I first watched this movie with Matthew, this film surprised me. I was actually kind of excited to watch it because I was thinking, okay, I've been disliking this genre for years. Maybe it's time to give these movies a chance. Maybe I hope that I would like them. And yeah, I love Alien. It was fantastic. I loved the whole thing. Still looks amazing after it came out in 1979.
Seeing this in the theater a few months ago,
That would have been amazing.
God, just the atmosphere just puts you in the
Yeah.
theater. It's just amazing.
And I think this was one of those movies where people said that they were sick when they saw the movie or like threw up or something
And,
like that when they
yeah.
saw the movie.
Imagine, because everyone knows how an alien or xenomorph operates in these movies now. They've known this for decades. But imagine if you were seeing this in 1979 and you didn't know much about this movie and you didn't know what this alien could do, and seeing that scene, like, for the first time, it was like, God, how can... And even the cast didn't know what was happening either. So, like, yeah, it's just one of the great moments of cinema.
I don't know if you've seen it. I shared a picture that someone took from '79 of that scene of like reaction.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture too.
I
Yeah.
posted that a few days ago.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's sort of what I was talking about. And also, man, that score when it go
I
like
love Jerry Goldsmith's score in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. It's one
yeah,
of his best.
one of the most iconic scores in movie history. In terms of that one.
Just the quieter moments of the score, especially in the opening credits, like with the title, is just it's just a eerie mood.
Yeah.
All throughout.
But yeah, I love Alien, but I did make a prediction that I would love Romulus more. It's actually at number 3 on the list. I did not predict I was going to love this movie more than Alien, which I thought this was going to be 3 and then Alien 2 and Aliens 1 when I was doing my Alien rankings. But I love the suspense more. I like the action more in this movie.
Suddenly, my list doesn't seem so controversial.
Oh, yeah, we'll see about
My
that.
list is probably not that controversial.
No. But yeah, I personally love Romulus a lot more, so honestly. All right, so now the top 2, and this one gets very tricky because these 2 movies, I watched this one movie the second time, and then, of course, I watched it for the first time and immediately loved it. So number 2 is the Predator prequel, Prey. This movie shocked me that I love this movie. When I first heard about this, I started to roll my eyes thinking, really? Another horror movie that features that features another one of those things like, oh great, another horror film. But then Matthew said he was doing a movie night that night, and I asked him, is this the prequel to The Predator? And he said yes. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. So I watched this movie, and I believe I watched it with you and Paul. I believe Paul was there, Paul too. And this movie surprised me. Like, I loved it.
This movie surprised everyone, I think.
It did.
I want to start doing that more often where I have like, if a movie premieres on like a Netflix or a Prime Friday night, like an original movie, I want to have like a movie night, like my own little theater release.
Yeah, I'd be on board with that. And so I loved it when I watched it the first time. I watched it again the second time. I think it was last week before I went to see the new Alien movie, or after I seen the new Alien movie. I can't remember. But I watched it again the second time, and I loved it more the second time. And
I've got the Blu-ray.
And oh man, I need to get it on Blu-ray. And I hope I can get the. I hope. Is it available on digital too?
Yeah.
because
Well, it's on
because
Hulu.
Yeah.
It's a Hulu.
oh,
release.
okay, yeah,
Well, I think
because
it's on Vudu and stuff too.
okay, because I love the whole behind the scenes thing, because that's also the thing I actually love.
Yeah.
And also, I love the freaking dog. The dog is awesome. I love the dog.
Awesome dog.
I was so worried the dog was going to die in that movie.
And
And he-
thank
good boy.
goodness he didn't
Yeah.
die.
Was it a boy or a girl? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
It was probably a boy dog.
The best use of a dog, though, in a movie,
In a long time.
well, was John Wick 4.
Yep. I
You
agree.
ride a
Ah.
dog, and then the dog, he dies, and the dog
Peas on his
him.
face. Yep.
Yeah, which, man, I love the finale of Prey. That was so good. That fighting sequences between the main character, which I love her, by the way,
Mhm.
and the Predator, that was so awesome. And I love that scene where the dart going shoo, 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 and then boom, Predator goes down. I love it.
Before she did Prey, she was actually in a Christian movie
Oh, she was.
called Priceless, which was made by the guys in For King and Country.
Oh yeah. I need to watch that film.
Yeah.
I that's probably a movie I never would have liked. But
Amber Mid-Thunder.
Yeah.
But yeah, Prey was just it was just a phenomenal surprise. And I mean, there are some people that said that it might be better than the original, which is understandable because this movie absolutely blew me away. In fact, I watched the original Predator after I watched Prey, so just want to give you guys a heads up about that on that one. But this one was an easy number one, like a very easy top spot for me, and that is Aliens. Aliens is not just one of the greatest horror films ever made; it's also one of the best action movies ever made. That was the reason why I wanted to watch the Alien movies, because of Aliens, because I heard so many great things about it. And James Cameron, who is the god of all movie directors with Steven Spielberg.
In terms of financial success.
Yeah.
I was going to say Nolan would like to have a word with you.
Yeah.
Well, now Christopher Nolan is the god.
James
but,
Cameron is a great director.
Yeah.
No one can deny that.
Yeah, no.
I feel like Nolan and I always can't pronounce his last name.
Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve. Yeah. Yeah. But
He's quickly becoming one of my favorite
Oh,
directors.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been one of my favorites since 2013. So
I didn't see Prisoners till like 2 years ago.
I
First movie I saw with
in the
him was
theater.
Arrival.
yeah. But the whole film, this film was just absolutely perfect from start to finish. Sigourney Weaver, once again, another phenomenal performance, which got her an Oscar nomination, by the way.
I forgot. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she.
fuck.
It was nominated for 7 Oscars. I just looked it up.
Really?
What was it nominated for? I know definitely visual effects. That's. For sure.
I think that's one of the ones that won because it won 2.
And visually, it looks
Like,
amazing
the
back in
Alien
1986.
Queen is probably, in my opinion, this might be a controversial one, might be the single greatest practical effect that's ever been made. Like, in terms of how its size. I saw that thing when I went to LA 2 years ago. They had a version, one of the Alien Queens that they used. Like,
Oh,
the
cool.
actual, it was amazing.
Nice.
And it was huge.
Okay. Nominated for Best Actress.
Yep.
Nominated for Best Art and Set Decoration.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved.
Nominated for Best Sound.
Yeah.
Nominated for Best Film Editing.
Yep.
Winner of Best Sound Effects. Winner of Best Visual Effects. And nominated for Best Score.
Well
I agree
deserved.
with all that.
And then Alien, the first one, was nominated for. I think it won one and nominated for one. Hold on.
Was there some people that prefer Alien over Aliens or
It's-
Aliens versus
for me-
Alien? Yeah.
Those two are in a coin toss for me. Like, some days I feel like I think I like Alien better, and then other days I'm like, I like Aliens better.
Right.
But I'm gonna talk about that after you get done. Are you?
He's just doing some Oscar research before I
The
continue.
first one was nominated for set decoration, 1 visual, and then I got 2 more to look up.
What else to look up?
Hold on.
Are you? Please tell me you're not looking at if Alien 3 or Resurrection got Oscars.
One of them did.
Wait, really?
3 got nominated for Best Visual Effects,
Okay, that's all.
That's interesting.
That's all it deserves then.
and then there was one more.
Ah.
I think one more. Yeah. Prometheus was nominated
That
for.
was definitely nominated.
What was it nominated for?
Visual effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 of the Alien movies got nominated for Best Visual Effects.
Ah, there you go.
Out of 6.
And
Well, out of
and
7
people,
now.
you still think that some people think this is a B movie type franchise. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
but Aliens, yeah, this was just it was just so phenomenal. I love this movie. The movie is so good that it was even turned into a documentary, which I need to watch that documentary.
yeah, I need to watch that too.
Yeah.
I need to watch the Christopher Reeve documentary when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Oh
it's
yeah,
coming
yeah.
soon.
But yeah, I loved it. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was an easy top spot for me. That's how much I love Aliens.
All right. Got my ranking.
Let's
My
go.
top 5. Number 5, Alien Romulus. Just because of recency and all that, like
I understand.
I feel like I can't rank this in top 3.
You got to
But-
rewatch it more.
Yeah. Like it's
At least we were pretty close on that one.
things have to stand the test of time until
Yeah.
I really decide that. But like overall, like this movie, regardless of a few of its faults, I still think this is one of the most enjoyable Alien films since the original two. I think I like that it goes back to the simplicity. I really like that it embraces what made the original 2 movies so great. And I think it gives itself enough of an identity that can stand out. And it does things that I was not expecting to see in a movie like this. So yeah, I got to give my hat to Fede Alvarez for steering the ship back on track. So number 4, Prey. Really, this movie, after The Predator, I had virtually no interest in any other Predator movie because of how much I hated The Predator. But when I heard that Dan Trachtenberg from 10 Cloverfield Lane was attached to it, I was like, let's see. I'm not getting my hopes up, but let's see.
10 Cloverfield's amazing.
Yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane is great. And yeah, this movie completely surprised me in so many ways. I love the idea of this film. Really, it does not do that comedy stupid shit that The Predator did. It really it gets you into this world of the past, and it establishes this main character so well, because unlike so many I still can't believe, how do people call this character, the main character in Prey, a Mary Sue? It 100% establishes her as an imperfect person
Yes.
who is learning.
Yes.
She is not perfect at what she does.
No.
She gradually grows across the film. That is not a Mary Sue. That is the complete opposite of that
She's
shit.
a quick learner, but still.
Yeah,
She
like,
learns.
give me a fucking break. Love that main character and the relationship with the dog and
Yeah.
her the other characters in the tribe. I love the new design of the Predator. It's old fashioned, but it still resembles that iconic look of the original design. It's a really refreshing take that does new things with an old concept while still having that DNA of what made the original movie so great. So yeah, Prey's number 4, and right after that is going to be Predator.
I figured it would be
original.
number 3.
This film is one of the iconic '80s Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and one of the most iconic '80s sci-fi films. It's a film that just it's one of the most machismo, masculine things I've ever seen, and it does it so well. John McTiernan directs it with such confidence. It's a movie that is a slow burn in some respects, but it immediately draws you in, and it creates a great mystery about what this Predator thing is. And it's just a really, really well done and perfectly executed movie of its kind. And not many movies have reached the level that the original Predator has. So then moving on is going to be Aliens. And this was so hard, like deciding which of these two I like more. And again, these flip-flop occasionally. So, but yeah, for right now, Aliens by James Cameron. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is just one of the greatest sequels ever made. James Cameron has made 2 of the greatest sequels of all time. Right before Terminator 2, he did this. Like I said, the Alien Queen is one of the greatest visual effects ever put to screen. The music by James Horner is fucking phenomenal. Of course, Ripley in this movie is a complete badass. I love Newt. I love all the other characters. I love the Marines. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh yeah, that's a great line.
Yeah, just this movie just kicks so much ass. And this is also like the original movie. I did actually get to see this movie in the theater a few
Nice.
years ago. It just so fucking good. Love this movie to death.
I'm betting it'll be released again for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Or 40th, I mean.
And of course,
Crap,
you
I'm getting old.
all probably know by process of elimination, number one is Ridley Scott's masterpiece, Alien. This movie is just, it's perfect. I don't think it is the perfect organism. This film is just, it's a world class of its own in terms of science fiction horror and space horror. It pretty much set the benchmark for every other sci-fi movie of its kind. It takes the ideas and concepts of what of like 50s campy science fiction films involving aliens and makes it into something truly unique and terrifying, and gives probably the most terrifying design of an alien creature in all of cinema. And yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about it except it's Alien. What else can you say about it?
Yep.
Okay, so
All right, Matthew.
my list is actually pretty close to yours without the middle section. The middle is going to be a little bit
I
controversial.
figured.
So number 14, Resurrection. Trainwreck, we said that.
I thought I didn't expect that to be like your worst, but okay.
Yeah, just because of how much I love the first three.
Okay.
AVPR.
Yeah.
The only thing I really liked about it was the kill scene where the Predator like throws the spike in it, like rips the body in half, like the spike ball or whatever.
God, I don't even remember seeing that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really liked about it.
It's bad.
None of the characters were likable.
Nope.
The Predator, number 12.
Yep.
All the bad ones are out of the way. The rest are various degrees of like to love. AVP, number 11.
You like it?
The unrated cut makes it a little bit better because the only complaint I really had.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was, because it was PG-13.
Yes, that was my only downside. Really, was it was too tame.
I don't know if I've actually ever seen the unrated cut.
It's about.
I didn't even know it had an
about
unrated
It's about
cut.
8 to 10 minutes longer to add some more gore to it.
Okay.
Alien 3, the assembly cut. So the intro is it shows her ship crashing down. It shows some exterior shots of like it's storming.
But does it still kill off those characters, like from Alien 3, like new?
She dies, but they don't show her dying. It's just the morgue scene later.
I just still don't like that.
And a dog does not die in this one. It's an ox that it comes out of, and it shows like them like bringing in Newt's body and Ripley like unconscious.
But it still kills off Hicks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't show it. They just mention it.
It's not really the showing it is insulting enough, but like just killing them off in such an unceremonious manner is just, I just don't like when movies and characters that we liked too, like
well,
that we
there was
really.
a reason.
Yeah, I guess
that was the only movie she ever acted in was Aliens.
True.
She didn't want to do any more acting after that. Alien 3, the only character like I said earlier, there was a character I kind of liked, and that was Charles Dutton.
Yeah, but I think it's just because I really like Charles Dutton.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's
but
a great actor.
Even that scene was like, until you've shown up, we've had no temptations. Like, what am I supposed to feel for?
Yeah,
about
that's
that?
disgusting.
Like, it's just
No.
why. And the movie plays it up like we're supposed to care about these characters.
Right,
and
and
it's
you
like,
don't.
We
Yeah.
don't.
No, there's no reason to. I just like that scene about like, are you gonna die standing for something or die on your knees or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that scene. Predator 2 is next.
Fairly solid.
Yeah, it's solid. Danny Glover was great.
Yep.
Gary Busey's kind of Gary Busey, like
Gary Busey's gonna Gary Busey.
yeah. We got the connection.
Oh yeah,
the
we
gun
didn't
at the
mention
end.
that the xenomorph skulls in Predator 2.
Oh, not just that. The gun in Prey that they hand at the end of Prey, or the gun one of the guns that was used in Prey was the gun the Predator handed Danny Glover.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
that was,
I haven't seen Predator 2 in a long time.
Okay.
So
it was actually originally rated NC-17. They actually had to cut it down a couple scenes.
Really?
Yeah, for
Huh.
gore.
Didn't know
Predator
that.
2 of
Yeah.
all things?
Yeah,
Interesting.
They got NC-17 for gore.
Huh.
This is where it's gonna get a little interesting.
Okay.
Alien Covenant number 8.
All right.
Okay.
I like it. It's a little unbalanced.
Yeah.
The cinematography's the standout.
Mhm.
I didn't really care for any of the characters.
No.
And this is stupid.
And James Franco getting toasted.
Yeah. This is like stupid thing because this shows that I'm not the biggest horror fan. I don't like the other ones had mostly positive endings or at least hopeful endings.
I actually really like the ending of Covenant. I just wish it went somewhere.
Yeah, well,
You know?
yeah, like that's one of the things I'm not a fan of in horror movies is when like it's good and then like the last 30 seconds wrong. Like I understand that's like a horror movie thing. But
there's a lot of endings like that I don't like, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
yeah,
ending.
I'm not a fan. Here we go. Alien Romulus number 7. It
Okay.
could go up the more I watch it, but like the
Wow.
other ones I like more.
I understand the criticisms like that a lot of people have, but
And like I need to rewatch it more. It
yeah,
could go up.
true.
Like as of right now, these are all the next 6 are in my top 30 of all time
Mhm.
or top 35. Like all
Yeah.
these are in it. Number 6 is Predators. I enjoy it. Adrian Brody was a little bit but like I can rewatch this all the time. This was the first R-rated movie I ever saw in theaters.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I love Robert Rodriguez's directing in this.
Robert Rodriguez actually did not direct
Oh,
it.
he did not direct it?
produced it. He was
Okay.
very involved.
produced it,
But
yep.
he did not direct it.
Oh, I
I
thought
can't
he
remember
did.
the guy who directed it. But,
I like the updated Predator theme at the end
yeah.
because they added electric guitars to it.
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool. Walton Goggins is a scumbag.
I forgot Walton Goggins was in it. I mean, it's Walton fucking Goggins.
He's a grade A scumbag in every role he does.
Yeah. Mhm.
I liked Alice Braga's character.
Who?
Alice Braga.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
she was in it.
She
Yeah.
was cool. Lawrence Fishburne was great as the crazy guy.
Yeah. Wasn't Topher Grace in it too?
Yeah, he was the secret serial killer.
Yeah.
He was
true.
a doctor, and they're like, "Why is he here?" We get Danny Trejo.
I remember that scene with Danny Trejo. He's like in the woods when he's
Yeah.
like, just help me,
Yeah.
or something like that. That just that creeped me out.
It did. It was so
It's
scary
creepy.
when I first watched it. What's funny is they actually wrote a character, and the description was a dude that looks like Danny Trejo. And I guess he called him up. He's like, "Hey, I hear you got a role of a dude that looks like Danny Trejo."
He's already worked plenty with Robert Rodriguez, so
So I thought that was funny though. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I hear you got this character."
let's
Just
not
want to tell you real
get-
quickly.
Let's not take that impression any further, okay?
No.
Yeah, just want to tell you real quick. My mom's about to pick me up around 10 or something.
Yeah.
So
It's 10
yeah.
now.
We're almost done.
Prometheus is number 5. I love Prometheus. Like, this, I just thought it was so different. And I thought that was a good thing with this, kind of.
Mhm.
The cinematography is a standout. That C-section scene is one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's just so unsettling.
Mhm.
Number 4 is Prey. This is going to be
I'd say.
familiar.
Okay.
It was a very good return to
It was a
form.
breath of fresh air.
Yeah, after
Yes.
that disaster.
Yep.
I really enjoyed Prey. The biggest crime about Prey was it was not released in theaters.
Yep.
True.
Because Alien Romulus was going to go to streaming too, but like
After
people,
Prey, they were like,
it
no.
was like, hey, people might actually like this, so let's
Well,
actually give it a chance.
I think Prey factored in that too. They said.
Interesting.
Yeah, true.
Predator is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Classic. One of the defining moments of the '80s in terms of movies.
Yep.
I will say it's a top 3 Arnold role. I'd say his top 3 are Total Recall, Terminator 2, and Predator.
Yep.
Aliens number 2. Classic. Like, still one of the
Get
greatest
away
movies.
from her, you bitch.
Yes. And then Alien at number 1. This is a top 10 movie for me of all time.
Yeah. Both Aliens and Alien are top 10 for me.
I think I had I'm gonna redo my top 100 every year, just because new stuff and rewatching more stuff. But I have a rule that I have to watch a movie at least 5 times before it can enter, just to see how I feel like repeated watches.
True.
I think I had Alien at like number 23, or Aliens at 23, and I think I had Alien at 9.
Nice.
So yeah, that's all I got.
Wow. Thank you guys for sticking with our
2-hour
long
episode.
and extensive ranking of every
Hey, it
Alien
was worth
Predator
it.
movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us what your favorite Alien Predator movie is, what you think of Romulus, and be respectable in the comments, please, and all that good stuff.
That was a really bad Predator sound.
No, it's okay. And yeah, Labor Day will be coming next week, so I hope you guys will have yourself a great Labor Day as well.
Gonna have a Monday off finally.
Yeah. I didn't know if there's anything else you wanted to say.
We got our Beetlejuice review coming up.
Yep, that's right. Beetlejuice.
I'm gonna try to see that early. There's a Wednesday screening that AMC has. So.
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our other videos.
Absolutely.
Find us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're most active on Twitter. Facebook is mostly active.
Or X.
Yeah.
For you Musk nerds.
Yeah.
We have Threads. May start a TikTok soon. Don't know.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good idea.
I do too.
Yeah. And one more quick thing. The Phineas and Ferb season reviews, I will continue when there's a new season coming out when we hear this new season announcement.
Real quick, before we end this, did you see Doofenshmirtz at Disney? Did you see that?
I did.
It looks horrible. It looks so
I didn't think of any of it. I just thought to myself, that's actually interesting. So, anyway, guys, go ahead.
Last comment is we need more sci-fi horror movies.
True.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get more.
Yeah. So, guys, have a great weekend. God bless you as always, and we'll see you all in the next episode.
Yeah.
Later.
We have been the Cinema Asylum Podcast. You guys were awesome. Thanks for coming out. God, no.